Giggles with Shoshana.
And Ronnie.
So, what have you been watching?
Viewers, lads,
Yeah.
ladies, ladles. I have a quandary,
What does that mean?
like an issue.
Okay.
Read a book. What do
How
you mean?
dare you say I should read a book? I've
You
never
should
heard
have
that
the
word.
same.
We have the same
vocab as
vocabulary,
me.
yeah.
You're the same age as me.
Yeah, but I've just never heard of that word before. You could just be like, I have an issue. I have a debate.
Well, quandary was the word that felt right.
Jesus. In Old English.
So I started watching Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
Well, I have two quandaries. This is my first quandary. So I'm watching Married at First Sight, and I've noticed they've been doing this thing that I really hate, which is big event has happened off screen, which everyone is talking about on screen, that they could clear up by just showing us, but they've decided not to show us, and then we're supposed to be invested in this argument one way or the other, even though we don't know what happened because we weren't there.
That's exactly what happened in Selling Sunset last season.
I don't like that. Yeah,
It's
I
really
didn't like it
It's
on that
really
season
annoying.
either.
It's really annoying. Sometimes
You're a reality TV
Yeah.
show. I shouldn't be hearing about stuff that's happened that's not on the show.
Yeah, I think some of that happens because the cameras aren't there, because they're not always filming all the time. But sometimes they do have the cameras there and they just don't show it.
This is why Love Island, on the days off where they're not filming, they don't let those people talk to each other.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm not going to let you do good quality TV off TV
True.
when the whole point of you guys being here, I'm paying you every single day, is to provide me with entertainment.
Yeah.
So I can film it, so I can put it on television.
Yeah,
Why
true.
are people having a game of spin the bottle that is blowing up the whole dinner party off screen? Why is someone going to tell everybody in the house his sexual experiences with his wife off screen?
I know.
This is not useful to us.
Yeah.
Because we can't gauge whether it was genuinely bad
Yeah.
or if people are blowing out of proportion.
It's a catch-22 kind of thing, because you can't have the whole relationship on camera for it to build and mature and then expect these couples to last long and live forever, or in the case of like something like Love is Blind, to say yes at the altar. So I understand why sometimes you do need to have the downtime, also because, you know, the producers, they need to like rest.
No, 100%.
But I do agree that the big events, that should always be on camera. I'm not saying reenact it, but it should always be on camera.
If Love Island is able to keep people apart,
Yeah, true.
you should be able to keep people apart.
That is true.
So if you're not filming, they shouldn't be mixing. How can you be like, well, this is the one day we're not going to film, and this one, yeah,
They're
excellent,
married.
Yeah. No, you can mix with your partner, but
Yeah,
why are you
not the group.
doing group activities? And bear in mind, we don't get to see any group activities on this show aside from the dinner party.
Yeah, the dinner party and the confessional. Yeah, what's called the confessional.
When all the drama is being
Ceremonies.
generated by things that have happened off screen, it just, to me, feels like,
it's true.
well, why not watch a scripted show? Because on a
Yeah.
scripted show, we get to see it.
That is true.
So that's my first quandary.
Okay.
Because I don't know how, I've decided, I just don't like this. And, like, I get it, it's useful because it means you come into a dinner party and there's drama. But, like, I just don't like drama that's not, you've not seen.
Yeah,
grow.
what's gonna happen? Because the only time when I like, sometimes when they don't show it straight away, is at the reunions. Like Real Housewives of Atlanta, there's a big ass argument. They argue all the way through the season. Reunion time is when they'll be like, roll the tape, and then the tape is rolled, and you see the behind the scenes, and you're like, yes, finally we get some like validation. Yeah, but yeah, with these type of shows, you're not getting a lot of the run the tape back type of thing, which just makes it then frustrating, and I don't know. I have been watching Married at First Sight, and we are going to talk about it at one point on the pod, but I'm not as invested as I have been in previous seasons. But anyway.
Oh, every couple is rancid.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
My second quandary
Go on.
is, last week we mentioned that there is, maybe we didn't mention on the podcast, did we?
No, what are you going to talk about? 'Cause
Maybe we mentioned it to each other.
yeah.
That Blue Therapy has been acquired.
Yeah, it was off, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know who has acquired it, but Channel 4 essentially has a online imprint, which is called Channel 4.0.
Oh, yes.
And it commissions stuff that is solely, I guess, for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And Blue Therapy, if you don't know, was a phenomenon last year, where we all thought it was real.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. They had to put the little card at the beginning and say it's not.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
We all thought it was real. get to reunion now, and people have done some digging, and they find out that the therapist. So if you don't know the premise for Blue Therapy, it's black couples who go to couples therapy, basically. Somebody did some research, and they found out that the therapist is an actress. And then the entire thing ended up being unravelled. One of the guys who was like a literal demon on that show was like, I'm an actor. It was an act the whole time. So I thought, well, that's that done now, because you've revealed the secret. Like, lots of shows are probably heavily constructed, but they are able to keep that under wraps.
Yeah.
Like, even when I remember when Made Chelsea admitted that, like, they will orchestrate situations to get people together. Yeah. Like, the thing that happens is real. Yeah. But you're then bumping into that exact person the next day is orchestrated by the producers.
It's not a coincidence, no.
Yeah, it's like you're at the Bluebird and they're at the Bluebird because that was the plan. And it put me off it to some extent.
No, I was put off when they had the best like cold opens and then teasers for each episode.
The teasers was so much more interesting than the show. You're right.
Then the shows were absolutely terrible. And you're fast forwarding. That's when I realised I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was a point where I just started watching just the teasers.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I'm entertained.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll come back next week for the next teaser. So now Channel 4, interestingly, have acquired Blue Therapy, but they've changed the title.
Love and Toxic.
Love and Toxicity, I think it's called something. Again, it's still like, it's black people, but some of them are interracial couples. Yeah. Couples therapy. Weirdly, with the same therapist. But have you noticed that she's called a dating coach this time?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because apparently anyone could be a coach, and that's true. I remember a friend of mine became a coach, and he was not qualified in any shape or form to coach anybody on their lives.
I'll give you my conduits, or what's your word? Conjury. After you go through this.
And then they've got another guy who, I don't know if they also call him a data coach, I don't know, but like I was like, what a polished man.
He looks so good.
No offense to my therapist, she's lovely, but like they don't be looking like that.
Really?
So I'll just be saying that for now. That man is not a therapist. At the beginning though, they have a disclaimer, and the disclaimer says the couples are real, but the situations have been, like, what's the word? They use a really specific word, which is basically, we've made this up. Or maybe it's orchestrated or like manipulated. I can't remember what the word is, but essentially the disclaimer at the beginning now is like, this isn't real. Yeah. But the people are real. But this isn't real. But the people are real.
Just so you know.
But this isn't real. And I found myself being like, well, this is horseshit then. And weirdly, I got to the end of the episode and I was like, my blood is boiling. They got me.
Oh my gosh.
Because the whole point of Blue Therapy is that they got just such big, larger-than-life characters who had such disgusting opinions of, like, men or women or dating or love or marriage that you were just, like, you were drawn in by the, like, controversy of their opinions. Yeah. And they've kept the essence of that. But, as I said to Shoshana off air last week, I think that these dating shows, and no offence, but Aloni...
Oh, yes.
On Twitter... Yeah. Those questions that she uses to instigate the black community is deliberately trying to ruin the black family. This is my only conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But when I watch these shows, I think, oh, it's a wrap for us. It's a wrap for... Why is there a woman at couples therapy with a man who says, I don't believe in marriage? Yeah. And she's saying marriage is her deal breaker. And he said... And then the coach said, oh, what's marriage to you? He said, marriage is sit next to me. If you sit next to me, your wife. Oh my God. And she said, marriage to me is the legal papers. He said, yeah, I'm never going to do that. So that's the end of the session, isn't it?
So messy.
That's the end of the session. What do you mean? Why are we still here?
It's so
I found myself just thinking, wow.
I mean...
The black race that is online is going to die out.
Oh my God.
Because we're not well. You know, other people in other races are married. They can get married and they're okay.
They don't have a whole show.
They don't need to be Googled. They don't need to be posted on, oh, my husband did it. Ladies, when would you allow a man to come inside of your bed? What the fuck are you talking about? Have any of you been to church? Go to church, read a book, do anything else. Do anything else. I don't know why dating has this culture in the chokehold.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy.
You would think that we're literally different species, men and women. We don't have to speak to each other. We don't have any common ground.
Yeah.
We just like to treat each other badly. That's what. Yeah. If you watch that show, if you read those tweets, you just be like, why on earth would I, as a black woman, date a black man?
Yeah.
Black men are out here embarrassing me on a daily basis. I'm just gonna sit here, for seller to see. Yeah, call me a femcel. This is crazy. So that's my second quandary.
Yeah.
Because I was like, one, I don't like the idea of watching a reality TV show that is deliberately constructed, but equally, I was entertained, so maybe that's the future.
You're the audience, yeah.
And also, I don't know how I'm trying to think about how Channel 4 watched the episode of that and went, this is going to be good culturally.
No, okay.
This is good culturally.
It's not good for the culture, and it's coming out in Black History Month, so that's not great.
Dark.
But that being said, when Blue Therapy came out, it was so big. It was a phenomenon. You had your faves, you had your people you hated. Like, it got people talking, so I'm not surprised that they acquired it, because I always thought Blue Therapy should be on TV. Like, there was so much drama for this, like, very small YouTube show that I'm not surprised it's on TV. But that being said, people brought themselves onto this. If they're real life couples, they shouldn't be together. Not one of those couples that I saw from the episode that I saw before I fell asleep should be together. Honestly. But I do agree that you don't see... Look, even the shows that are based around certain ethnicities or religions or faiths, it never gets messy or toxic. Like, even like Indian Matchmaker or...
Ooh, but did you hear that one of the...
What happened?
One of the couple in Indian Matchmaker...
What happened?
Husband was charged with domestic abuse.
What? Let me check that now. Sorry.
But on air.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Be very quick. Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I just want to know who, because I've watched all 3 seasons.
Yeah, he was in the first season. She hadn't found someone for him, and she must have found someone for him, and maybe in the second. And yeah.
Oh my god, I think I know who you're talking about. It's wild. It's wild. But that being said, if you're on these TV shows, I'll be giving you an eye, like. You know,
I feel like I was talking to someone about this at work, and they were saying, do you think that they use those disclaimers to protect the people in it? Because he was like, if you think about how we treat people on reality TV, like, we'll drag them for filth, but these are real people. Like, you know, it's not like if you're an actor and you play a part that people don't like, that's fine, because it's not you. Like, they're yelling about Joffrey, they're not yelling about you as a person. Whereas if you go on a show like this and you are your real authentic self, and people are like, that person is disgusting, that person deserves to be burnt at the stake, that is really dark. And it can really, really mess with people. And like 3 people have committed suicide since Love Island has started airing. Like, it really does affect people. So he was like, what if this show is real, but it's just using that disclaimer to protect the people at the heart of it?
But I don't think it's too much protection, because the thing is, even though the stories and situations may be fake or artificial, it's still coming out of their mouth. Like, and then, we're not going to go through that debate, but the whole, this is what you signed up for type of debate, which is my slightly heartless.
Very, very, she was unmoving on that point.
I am unmoving, because I do, again, to get on a reality TV show, it's no light work at all. Like, we know different people that work in the industry. I know quite a few, like, commissioners or like content people that work in unscripted TV. It takes a lot of time to cast the right people. You have interviews upon interviews. It's not just like, oh, we want you must come on TV now. It doesn't work like that. So, and it's an active decision. Some people leave their jobs so that they can go on these shows. So my level of sympathy is always a bit lower. But that being said, hearing stats where people have committed suicide after being on a reality show, that's serious, and that's where safeguarding needs to be even more ramped up. But this show, with Blue Therapy, I want to continue watching it. I do agree that we're not setting ourselves up for the best profile of strong black love. I don't think I've seen a TV show that actually celebrates black love apart from the Black Love show, which interviewed couples.
I also, like, you know, not to out myself.
Looks like you don't like black love.
Relax. I don't have a lot of male friends.
Same.
And my view of the world is very much through a female lens and how we are so loving and, you know, chill and cool.
And amazing,
and like not sexist and not like, you know, again, this is just my friends.
Yeah.
Like not homophobic, not transphobic, like none of those things.
Yeah.
But I work with men.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I hear them speak, it's not unlike the men on these shows. And
That's
it's
true.
honestly, I think the reason why I am like, this is ruining the black community is because I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't know any men like this, so I just feel like this show is deliberately trying to make it seem like this is what black men are like. But then sometimes when I talk to black men, I'm like, their beliefs are not that far off what these guys are thinking. And that is fucking scary. I'm sorry, it just is. And we spoke about this before on another topic, but I can't remember what we were talking about, but I think I said that, like, at this point in my life, I just want to surround myself with people who are open-minded and think like I think.
Yeah.
And so watching this show, sometimes I just feel like, why am I even watching this? Because I would never meet a man like this. I would never know a man like this. And if this is your thought, me and you are not going to know each other.
Yeah.
For real, like, I don't know how we could have a conversation. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Because men who think like this are also men who are quite repressed.
Yeah.
They can't speak about their emotions.
Yeah.
You can't have conversations with them because they don't know how to communicate, because they think that they're communicating really effectively, but actually what they do is when they get emotional, they either clam up or they lash out.
Yeah.
And there's a girl there who was annoyed and started saying that, like, bring your mum or bring your sister, they would be desperate to date me. Why are you talking about my mum and my sister?
Oh my god,
he
wild.
said it, and then in the confession was like, yeah, I said it to piss her off because she pissed me off. I could never be with someone who would be deliberately trying to be cool to me because they're upset. Yeah. If you're upset, express that you're upset. Don't abuse me. Yeah. Verbally, that's not going to work for me. It's great for television, but like for me personally, I just don't I would never pick people like that to be my world. And sometimes when I watch these shows, it does start to affect the way I see men. Yeah. It's like when I was telling you that my therapist said I should stop watching Love Island. It's like, because the way that people were speaking to each other on that show was making me be so like, why on earth would I date a human man if this is the way that they are speaking to people? Where's your mum and dad?
But I always...
This is how they trained you to do... Oh, go outside and be speaking to people anyhow you like. Yeah. I don't have the stomach for it. I don't even have the time for it. I don't have the patience for it. If you ever in your life even cut your eye at me, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Oh my god. Yeah,
do you know what people did to get me here? And you think you can cut your eye at me?
Then you understand why some of these girls fought. When was it Anna? When she's like, nah, we're gonna fight. And Faye. Was it Faye? Yeah. That one was too much.
No, she was crazy. Don't put me in a category as her. But like, I'm not gonna fight you. Yeah. I'll just remove myself from the situation.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna still watch, but I will always try and balance it out with some like nice, sweet, kind reality TV shows, like The Golden Bachelor. What? I've been watching The Golden Bachelor.
That feels like a nice, sweet show.
It's so wholesome.
Okay.
Every time I watch it, I smile.
I don't have a nice, sweet reality show at the moment.
But Black Love was also that show for me when it came on. Like it was just about couples talking about their love.
I actually found Survival of the Thickest to be quite a palate cleanser.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that later because I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't dark anyway.
No,
was
it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was genuinely very light.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
Yeah. It was.
So yeah, it felt like a palate cleanser to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do a very quick was it conduit? Not conduit. Quandary. Which was I've just forgotten what it. Oh, it's two things. One.
Oh, so you got two.
I had two. One was like going back to Married at First Sight. Recently, they have just announced, well, now, Big Brother has just started.
Yeah.
And I don't have the capacity to be watching Big Brother and Married at First Sight at the same time.
I watched the launch.
Was it good?
It was actually.
Okay. I just can't watch... Like, you're expecting me to commit every single night to watch Married at First Sight and then to watch Big Brother.
Oh, I forgot Married at First Sight comes out
every night. Or like Monday to Thursday. But it's still like...
No, I watch it when I watch it.
Yeah, I watch it on my own time now. Before, like previous season, I'll be like, I have to watch it that night.
Yeah, because that was all that was on.
Yeah, but I don't have the time at the moment. And then Big Brother, I don't even have the commitment or the effort to do so. So I'm just going to leave that there. My second...
I was never a Big Brother fan anyway.
When it was in its early days, I loved it. Like, I
was too young. You're so much older than me though.
3 months. 4 months. Be for real. Be for real. The second thing I was going to say, I feel like I'm now starting to even deduce the F-boys and red flags from these reality TV shows before it's even announced.
If you've got tattoos on your face, it's alright.
Yeah, so that should have been, it was that. On Love is Blind, I talked about it when we did the
If you're
review.
bold, it's alright.
Yeah. Before that particular episode, or that particular scene in episode 1, where Uche and Aaliyah started to have the conversation about her being a quote-unquote recent cheater, there was something that I looked at him and I said, I don't trust him.
I didn't, honestly,
From the minute I saw it, I knew. I was like,
I didn't like his conversation with Miriam. Like, when I first viewed it, I was like, Miriam's being a bit weird not sharing this. But I also just didn't like the way he was questioning her.
Yeah,
I just didn't like that. I didn't like the conversation. It felt like she was being deliberately hiding something, but it also felt like he was being, maybe not. Do you know when I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but you ask someone a question and they're obviously not trying to share.
Yeah.
You never continue to ask questions about it. You'll be like, let me just move on.
I do one additional question just to be confirmed that.
That's fine.
And then
but he was still being like, and then what's this? And then what's it? The person obviously doesn't want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
And I also wonder if we missed, because obviously they used that as a clip.
Yeah.
What the conversation had been like to that point, because maybe he'd also not made her feel comfortable to share that thing.
That is true. There's true context, but we don't know. But that moment, just before they started to have that conversation, I knew it. There's something about it that's fishy, and I just don't get it. And then he just reveals himself very quickly. The second time,
black.
Yeah,
I'm saying allegedly.
No, you better say allegedly, because I love all black.
Uche, sue me if you want.
Yes, but the other
you
thing,
only fought a black woman on the show, so sue me if you want.
He only kept on fighting. No, he fought Lydia as well. He fought her, Lydia, Aaliyah, and Miriam. But Miriam dragged him.
He hates women of colour.
Maybe, yeah.
He hates.
Yeah.
He's very nice to Stacey when Stacey was going off.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Just saying.
We'll keep an eye out when the reunion happens, because
which is not live this season.
Thank God. They even tell you. It's
they
live,
made
baby.
a joke of crossing out. I thought that was like quite nice.
You know what? You have to lean into it. You have to.
I like that
you have to. The second person was the tattooed guy from Married at First Sight, all about energy and universe. What's his name again? Brad.
Yes, Bradders.
So with Brad, when they were interviewing him right at the beginning, the professionals were like, Brad, tell us about your dating life. And then he was talking about, he's just not found the right person. And then the dating coach, or I think he's a relationship expert, he was like, how is it a good looking guy like you can't find someone? And something about it was like, there is something wrong with this guy. And lo and behold, rumour has it, allegedly, they've been kicked off the show. That's allegedly.
Oh, they've been kicked off?
Allegedly, because the guy is coercive and controlling. And you can tell
both of them off, though.
Yeah, well, if you kick him off, you can't leave her alone.
No, I get that, but not together. I wouldn't be like, off you guys go together if you think she's in an abusive relationship.
Well, at the moment, we don't know where they are in the show. At the moment,
they kicked them off.
Yeah, because all they've shown is they've had a what's that session where they bring all the couples together and they talk?
The commitment ceremony.
So they had that commitment ceremony, but they announced at the beginning that Shona and Brad are not able to join because they've given the couple some time out, basically. Time out
as in they get to come back, or time out like it's done?
Well, it gave the impression that they were time out as if they were going to come back. They just needed the week to kind of rest. But I'm like, what are you on about? And the last time we seen them, they were one of the girls was talking to Shona saying are you sure you're good? Yeah. So we'll see. But I'm happy that I'm starting to identify some of these red flags, because if I can do it on TV, I can do it in real life.
When he was to her, when they were at the commitment ceremony, I think maybe the week before, and he was like, I need to learn to allow her to make mistakes. Yeah. And then they were like, did you hear what you said? You're not supposed to say that. He's like, but I want to say that. Yeah. You should have kicked him off the show then.
Yeah,
He literally said to you, but that's how I want to talk. I want to talk in terms of what I allow my wife to do and what I don't allow my wife to do. And they're like, no. But I also appreciate that they acknowledged that and said to him, that language isn't good. Yeah. And they also didn't come at him in an aggressive way to be like, oh, in case you don't know that you're doing this
is how it comes across.
We're just flagging it to you. Because he might just be a guy who's like, oh, this is how I thought you talk.
No.
But I don't. Yeah, he
No.
strikes me as a person who's very deliberate in the way he speaks to her, telling her to shut up at the dinner table.
Oh,
baby.
God. So yeah, that's been going on. But I think, talking of blue therapy and black love, we need to...
I don't even want to do this.
We need to move on to pop culture
News
of the week. So, pop culture for this week. It's been an interesting one. I was scrolling through Instagram and then a news alert came up on... Marnie just thought it would be a good time just to look at what's on my t-shirt.
At least that's what you thought I was doing.
Yeah. I was like, you looking straight at my boobs. But I mean, fine, but
I was like, I realised I could only see I was only seeing life and every, and I was like, I don't know what this
life
says.
and everything.
And I was curious as to whether it had a different sentence on each thing. So I needed to know.
For context, my t-shirt says enjoy life and every moment.
And love.
And love. I
You didn't even know what your t-shirt says.
I missed a lot because I can't see love right here. Enjoy life and love every moment. And today I was kind of enjoying life, but not really loving every moment.
Yeah, I think views what you also can't see is that some of the writing is in pink, and Shoshana's wearing a pink shirt and pink trousers as well. So it's all obviously the thought process was this goes with this, which goes with this.
I got a lot of compliments today at work with my pink outfit.
It's cute.
Thanks. I wasn't planning it. It just. No, I just threw
Okay, but the trousers match the t-shirt.
Well, wait, hold up. I opened my wardrobe and said, Lord, what do I wear today? Because I have no idea what I'm going to wear. And then I saw the pink trousers. I was like, great. I saw the white t-shirt. I was like, great. And then I thought I need to cover up because it's cold. And then I saw the pink t-shirt.
Oh, you didn't cross your mind. I'm wearing pink trousers and I'm wearing a white t-shirt.
It's
Right
off
let me get a pink top.
Anyway, it's got nothing to do with that.
No.
Talking of that, before we even go into pop culture news, the Beckham documentary came out.
It.
You need to.
I will watch it. I
really enjoyed it. But one of my favorite moments, and it's not even a spoiler, is that in between the class thing was hilarious. But it also, there's times when they kind of pan to Beckham and his life and just his everyday normal life, and he opens his wardrobe. I feel like you would love that scene, and he goes through and shows these are all my jackets, these are all my jeans, and they're all almost, I think they're color coordinated. Then he says, "Oh, I pack, I prep for the whole week my outfits."
Love that.
It's honestly because apparently he has a bit of an OCD kind of thing.
Uh-oh.
And then he said that he folds his t-shirts and his tops on a slanted angle so you can see what each one is.
Clever.
So clever. So I got a lot of inspiration. Don't open my drawers now because they're not even folded, but I was very inspired. So after that, my outfits, I feel like it will help me build my outfits better, so I'm not opening my wardrobe and going, God, what do I wear?
Yeah.
It wasn't nice.
Do you think God actually communicated to you what outfit to wear today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was rummaging through as I was touching, I was like, God, what do I wear? And it was like, try that.
Ping.
Pink. And then another one's pink. And I was rushing and he was like, that. I was like, great.
He said ping, ping, and then that.
But moving on from pink to
Jada Pink.
to Jada.
It's
Oh, that's very smart because I was going to say something completely different.
what are you going to say? You're bad at segues, obviously.
Moving on from pink to black. Love.
No.
No. Okay, moving from pink to Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm going to use your line instead. So I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith had been separated for 7 years. And this news is coming out because Jada Pinkett Smith is releasing her memoir called Worthy.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Does anyone give a fuck?
Oh my god!
Does anyone give a fuck? I was actually sitting here thinking, what would be the reason to not share this information with us? Is it because they want to uphold Black Love? Who the hell's sitting in their house thinking, do you know what couple we should be like? Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, who obviously hate each other.
Honestly.
She don't have a nice word to say about this man. She was cheating on him with someone in his own house. She doesn't like him.
No.
She doesn't like him.
No.
We've been knowing you don't like old dude. Now you're saying, oh, we've been separated. Honey,
Yeah.
you should have said that at the beginning.
Because
You've done so much damage to both of yours
brands
by pretending to be together and then mistreating each other.
Yeah.
then you should have just said.
Actually,
You should have just said, because remember when all of the rumours was like him and Margot Robbie were...
Yes. Him and Margot Robbie messing around. You had the whole Red Table Talk where they talked about the whole affair. Why? That was your perfect opportunity to be like, yeah, but...
And that's why we knocked together.
And that made so much sense where it was like, I'll get you back. What do you mean I'll get you back? Fam, you're not together. Because they were all doing, you tried it first, but I'm going to return the favour. I'm like...
So are they what? Best mates? What's the deal?
I think they're friends. They're friends. They live under the same roof.
They're
housemates.
Very big
housemates.
I'm trying to think, like, why have you put us through this?
No.
I don't care about you guys as a couple. I've never, like, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith are not the people I've been like, this is why I'm aspiring ring too. Like, no.
They used to be.
What you have to understand is we've entered a place in pop culture where, because we know so much about these celebs, we know that they're all rotten to the core.
Yeah.
Like, there's no couple where you're like, that's actually just a good couple. Like, in the olden days, right? In the olden days, when there was less internet, you would just look at people and be like, they're an attractive couple. I imagine their relationship is fantastic. You didn't know the ins and outs. You weren't seeing Instagram videos, stories, pictures every single day. Like, it was just what you saw on a red carpet.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing people and you've got, like, Jada Pinkett Smith cannot stop talking about this relationship. She's apparently not been in for 7 years. To a point where, like, I'm like, okay, not a relationship I want to be in. And now you're revealing that you've been separated for 7 years. Okay.
It makes me also annoyed because...
Why?
Yeah, it's frustrating because the whole slap thing from last year. What was the point? Like...
That's why I was like, what is the nature of their relationship?
I think
because if you and me were like, listen, we're not together anymore, but I'm ride or die for you. Like, if anyone says anything about you, I'm gonna pop off. That would explain to me why, regardless of the fact that's not his wife anymore, if you're chatting shit about her, I'm going to go up on stage.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe they just...
Where I'd go up on stage, if someone's talking shit about my sister, I was going to go up on stage. Regardless of whether me and my sister are speaking, you're not going to speak on her.
Yeah.
You're never going to do that.
Yeah.
But then you're hearing that Chris Rock
Yeah.
called up Jada when he heard that they had been separated and wanted to go on a date with her. So is that why he went up and slapped her? Because he was actually like, slapped him because he was like, actually, this is payback for when you was trying to move to my life. You're not even together anymore. So why can't I move to your wife? And also, what's embarrassing about that is that she really wasn't with Will. She still didn't want to go on a date with you. That's, please. I would actually, put me in my grave. Let me go.
Oh my god.
She said, that's a rumour. Who said we was getting a divorce? And he said, oh, sorry. Psych. She's sleeping with Austin, whatever his name was.
August Orsina.
For how long?
That's messy. That boy was like, how old?
Both of them just need to stop talking so much.
Yeah.
And this goes back to my issues with Married at First Sight, which we'll talk about more on our episode. Men, but now let's send it to women.
Yeah, it's now
Stop
women.
talking.
Yeah. I like...
It's not every day people need to know your business.
To me, I want to understand what is the basis of us understanding that they're separated. Is that because you actually want to get divorced and you want the public to know so that when you eventually announce your divorce, no one's surprised? Or is this just for sensationalism?
Yeah.
Is it just for that? Because really and truly, you're now just doing this for attention.
Well, apparently Will Smith wrote in his memoir that they've been separated for ages. So it's actually not sensationalism because it's been in pop culture.
But how come no one picked it up?
Because the two of them keep presenting like they're in a couple.
Yeah,
they keep presenting. Okay, so you've written in your book you're separated, but you're presenting on TV at least like the two of you are a unit. It's okay to say we're separated, but we've been together for such a long time. She's my best friend. Yeah. I'm gonna still do things with her. Like, we're a unit. We're a family. We're a brand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You're going to see us outside together, but like in terms of who am I fucking on a daily basis, not her anymore.
Yeah.
And same with her.
Yeah.
She's fucking whoever she's fucking, and that's good. We all live in the same house and we're happy.
Yeah.
And that is like very modern, and some people might be like, I don't like that, but like there'll be a bunch of people who respect that, like that's what works for you, that's what works for your family. But this thing of like, why everything, there's a meme where it's like, everything I know about this person is by force, right? Everything I know about Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith is by force.
Yeah.
I'm going about my day-to-day life.
You just hear, bam, this news, bam, that news. I was
like, do you know what, I need to go to Boots, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. Running out of foundation. I look on my phone. Jada Pinkett Smith and why? Why?
I think they enjoy being in the spotlight, and it's so.
We're in the
weird.
middle of 3 world wars.
Yeah.
And this is what you guys have decided
That's
today. The day
breaking
that you need to break.
news. Actually, you know what? I actually think about
Have
like
some decorum.
when you think about perspective, they were announcing that Holly Willoughby had left this morning in Gaza. I mean, while a reporter, sorry,
I went to the Palestinians. They're like, oh my god. This is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Sorry, let me rephrase that.
Pause the war. Holly's left.
No, let me rephrase that. The reporter was based somewhere in Israel or Gaza, and they were talking about Holly Willoughby
guys aren't
leaving
here.
this morning, and I was like,
This
the
country is
perspective, honestly, in a whole war where people are dying,
People are dying, Kim.
babies are dying,
People
and-
are dying,
But
Kim.
the news that we need to understand is Holly Willoughby has left
Who gives
this
a heck?
morning.
Who gives a heck? And also, she should have been left.
Yeah, she should have. I was surprised. I was thinking, okay,
What way to draw attention to yourself? If
Exactly.
you could have left in the summer, we wouldn't even have noticed.
come on.
We wouldn't have noticed. Now she's saying she left because of a stalker. Please.
Yeah,
You left because you and your friend got in some trouble.
yeah,
And that's okay.
so messy.
That's what I mean. Sometimes you tie your mast to the wrong shit.
Yeah,
And the ship goes down and you go down with it.
yeah.
Even if you weren't the person who did the thing, because you were so tightly connected, people are like, there's no way she didn't know.
Yeah.
There's no way she didn't know. And you can't escape the rumours enough until you're like, do you know what? I don't want to do this job
Yeah.
anymore. I'm going to go. Hopefully we'll see them on Dance on Ice.
Oh yeah, because they were doing it
They
together.
technically still have that job. No one
They
said they
still-
got fired from that job yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
When's the new season coming out? They're gonna get.
It'll be
New Year.
AJ,
Oh yeah,
Juju,
yes, I'm down for that.
John Donner. That's who it
Yeah,
will
that'd
be.
be good. I saw AJ hosting with some other guy. Oh, she's doing the Big Brother.
Yeah,
thing
she's
with
doing
that,
Big
with that
Brother.
other guy. Yeah, because I think the other guy.
I've never seen it. A day
I've
in
seen
my
him.
life.
I've seen him before. But he looks older. He's very cute when he was younger.
Day in my life.
Yeah.
I like to see it.
Oh, what was his name?
A friend of mine and I were texting about it. I said the men need to
Yeah.
get back into wearing wide leg
Yeah, they should.
trousers.
That's so random.
That's what I liked about the suit.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a double-breasted jacket. Okay, that's part of the course.
Was he wearing trainers?
But the trousers.
Because I think that would go with it.
wide leg.
But if he had trainers with
Wide.
it, I think it.
I don't remember which shoes. And I think AJ was wearing a PVC like a bodysuit,
That is a
which is
statement.
like
That is a statement. and a half.
honestly works,
That's a
sis.
statement and a half.
Hair 56 inches.
Oh my god.
I said go off, go off.
Man.
I live for her.
Yeah, no, she's,
We have like very similar body types. So I genuinely live for her living her life
She's-
like that
she's
on
something.
TV because I would be like cover up. She's like, no, here I am,
yeah, no, she's
an athlete,
yeah.
broad shoulder babe.
You're an athlete.
Yeah,
Okay.
you see me do my little run.
Yeah, what run? Run to the bus. That's what I've seen.
Speak for yourself.
Yes.
I'm doing a run
That's what I've seen you do.
on a Sunday. Catch me outside. How
Really?
about
I do Saturday runs. We
that? I do
should
Sunday runs.
How long? How far?
I run from my house to the park. I'm not gonna say what park it is, but you know what park it is.
The one across the street.
No. It's free. It's 2 streets away actually.
Yeah. Okay. I'm running 5K.
I run around the park.
Okay.
Yeah, twice.
Oh, maybe it is 5K.
Suck my dick. Don't ever come for me.
The park I run round, you know.
Yeah, I do know that part.
I run around the park.
I
Round
never
the...
asked you to do that.
I'm just trying to tell you, like, you may be running, but I'm running.
And that's okay.
That's
Because
good.
at the end of the day,
We're all running.
exactly.
From what?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That is the question. The other day I had to run from my nan. So I was taking my nan to the hospital and the car parks like at the end
Yeah.
of where she lives. And I realised I'd put her in the wheelchair, wheeled it all the way around to get into the Uber, and then when she got up, I realised I hadn't put the cushion in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I had to run back to the house, get the
Oh,
cushion,
God.
and run back. And I wasn't out of breath.
Oh,
And I
that's
thought, do you
good.
know why? Because I've been doing these
That's
little
good,
runs.
yeah. That's true. I started running during the pandemic, and when I'm telling you, I felt the most fit I did the whole time during that pandemic, which is very weird to say, but I did because my body felt like a little bit more slimmer. I felt like I was less out of breath because the first time I did the run, I was wheezing. But by the time when I got all the way through month after month, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm really enjoying it. And I used to stop like halfway through or third way through, and now I run without stopping consistently.
Oh, I take a pause.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, I have to stop because otherwise I might pass away. I'm so tiny. I might pass away. I might get blown off, by the way. Help me.
No, it's fun though. I actually weirdly enjoy running.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I don't like is I think the difference between now and because in the pandemic I started running as well.
Yeah.
And I found that really hard because I was running too fast.
Yeah.
And now I'm literally jogging, and I'm like,
Okay.
I do want to run faster than this. Though,
Yeah.
don't
But
I?
then you know if you run too fast, you get the cramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. But our girly friend, she runs.
I actually.
I said I can't run with her because she runs at a pace that I'm
Problematically, I feel like I could beat both you and her in a sprint, though. Like, in a sprint?
I used to sprint.
As in who has speed? Because jogging every day is one thing.
Yeah, but
I mean, can you build momentum?
when I was younger, I used to. That was my. I didn't like endurance running. So I was sprint.
I can sprint as well.
Okay, then let's sprint.
Let's do it.
Not tomorrow.
No, me and one of our friends said that we should do a sports day.
Yeah, we should 100% do
Yes,
that.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Not now, in the summer. So you got time to train.
How dare you?
You got time to try and get into shape.
My thing.
For the sprint. For the sprint.
Don't worry.
For the sprint.
Don't worry, I can sprint. my only thing is with sprinting, why I have been slower is the mental aspect.
Old.
The mental aspect.
The endurance.
The fear that I would run too fast and I would like crash over.
LOL.
When I was younger.
You know what? That line is like, what's your biggest flaw? When you're in an interview, you're like, I'm actually too much of a perfectionist. Shut up. My fear is not run too fast.
No. So basically, it's based on actually a real life experience. I was at church. After church, all the kids were like hanging out. And we said we'll do a sprint.
How old were you?
I think it was in primary school because
Okay.
there was a photo. I'll tell the story. But we had to do a race, and we raced from one end of the church, like auditorium, to the other. Mm-hmm. And at the end, you touch the glass door, and then you run back again. The glass door was a big thing. So I ran, and sprinted so fast that I smashed my head into the glass door and had a massive bump. And the next day was photo day. So so there's a massive bump on my face.
Do you know what's very funny about that story?
Go on.
When I was 10 or 11, I must have been 10, because I wasn't in secondary school yet.
Yeah.
I was like one of the fastest girls in my school.
Yeah.
And I was at my mum's house on the holidays, and like, so I lived, during term time I lived with my nan.
Yeah.
And on summer holidays I'd stay with my mum.
Yeah.
And so I had different neighbours. I was this boy who I kind of have a crush on, but like also I was just like, as a kid I really just liked being better than people, so I remember...
Has that changed?
No, actually. It's actually a big part of my personality.
Goodness me.
He was like, I'm faster than you. I was like, you're actually not. Like, you're actually not. I'm like faster than a lot of boys in my school.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm fast.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I'll race you. And when my mum lived, there was like little sheds where people didn't have sheds in their garden, so they had sheds outside.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll race you from one end of the shed to the other. But there was like a border of grass. And I was winning the race as well. This was the most painful bit. I was winning the race, and then I tripped over the grass border, smashed my face in this door. I've got like a scar here still.
Oh my god.
Smashed my face in the door, and my mum was like, good. How many times have I told you to stop running? You're a girl! She absolutely hates it. She was like, every time I see you, you're racing boys, doing things with boys. You're a girl, sit down.
No, but I want to race and experience life.
I smashed my face, my lip swelled to like double the size.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to school the next day, and then the school was like, is she okay?
Oh god.
And then she was like, okay, to take me to the hospital. Like, she actually really should have taken me to the hospital at the time, because I could have got a concussion. I smashed my head in a door.
Yeah, that's
No, she was like, this is punishment for you to learn.
Yeah.
And honestly, after that, it made me nervous about running.
Same. Yeah. That's the reason why I'm like, you may win, but it's because the mental aspect of it will deter me from running as fast as I physically want to. That being said, I'm a lot older and a bit bigger, so like it's not gonna be as smooth. It's not gonna be as I'm
running like I'm not
gonna
the bus.
I'm not gonna be a Usain Bolt, but I'll try to be close to Thunderbolt.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think we should do it. And we'll
Let's do it. It'd be fun. It'd be really fun.
Yeah.
We've got a whole lot of time to train.
Do you think Jada Pinkett Smith? What do you think Jada Pinkett Smith's sport would be at school? She strikes me as a sprinter.
She would, yeah. She could do track.
If she was in the UK, what kind of girlie do you think Jada Pinkett Smith would have been? Like, if she went to our school, what group would you think she would have been in?
I think she'd be the popular girl.
I think she would have been in the cocaine girlies. Personally.
Who was it? We can talk about this off air because I have no idea who was in the cocaine girl.
I think there's like the rich girlies who were like, we've been having parties since we were like 13. Do you remember there was a girl at our school who was like And Watson's my next door neighbour.
No.
Yeah.
There's a whole subset of our group of our year group that I did not know very well. I knew them by face, and I still see every now and again. I see someone that we went to school with, but I didn't have in-depth conversations to know more about them because I was like, "Cool, you look good."
I think most of the subsets in my school I sat next to at some point in my life, and that's why I know bits and pieces about them.
Yeah.
Because one thing about me, I'll talk.
Yeah, for me, I would like. I would talk to find out a bit more about you, but I'm not going to be doing in-depth life. I don't care about your life.
Oh, I'm always like, tell me everything. Tell me everything, girl.
So
how was that date you went on? I don't even know this girl from Adam. I don't speak to her
No.
ever again.
No.
But if for the period that we're sitting next to each other, we're best friends.
Yeah. Well, I would say Jada Pinkett Smith is like part of trying to be part of the popular black girls group, but not 100% in it.
Okay, really quick last thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because I was trying to remember, who was I talking to? Maybe it was you. Maybe it was you, so this won't help.
Yeah.
It was you. Don't
Was
worry.
it?
It was
Okay.
on the podcast last week.
Oh, was it? Okay, I'll listen back. And make sure you are listening and liking.
It was
and
about
following.
the hair gel that Carly used to use at school.
Yeah, and I still don't know it.
It's not got to be.
It's not. No, it's not got to be because got to be came out a lot later. But I have to be honest. I was looking at a lot of old photos of me. My wigs were a mess.
At school?
No, outside of school, after school, in my 20s.
I look at old pictures of me, I'm like, she's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm the coolest person.
Some of them look really sweet. Some of them are like, oh, I was still in my glow up phase. I'm still glowing and I'm still growing.
That's sad.
What's sad about it? It means that I've never peaked.
That's
Because
true.
I will keep on peaking.
No, that's not what that means.
Yeah, it does. It means that
it means you haven't peaked, sure, but it doesn't mean you're gonna keep on peaking.
Yes,
it means at some point
if
you
I'm-
will peak.
if I'm growing and I'm glowing, like it means that my peak will never stop.
What do you think is your peak this year? Because
Can
you
we-
actually already
can
mentioned it on the podcast.
Oh, going on holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my peak. Oh yeah, you're right. I did say that last week.
You did actually say
I
it.
was glowing, and I come back and I'm
I have got to this
justifying.
year. Winter is really my time.
really to peak.
I think that I'm gonna peak on Halloween.
Sure you will.
And I'm gonna give up for the rest of the year. I'll be wearing tracksuits to work. I'm just gonna give up.
I think I do like the Christmas period, so it always feels a bit hopeful during that period. So I'm hoping for like a second peak over Christmas. We'll see.
We will be seeing.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll let you guys know if she peaks.
Yeah.
She won't. But we'll
Oh
let
wait,
you
how
know.
dare you? You don't know. I could just end up looking amazing. I will look amazing. I'll try and make myself look amazing.
Doesn't sound very. You're not very.
I'm not. Yeah,
Your
I'm
heart's
just not.
in it.
My heart's not right at the moment. But when I get my head down, like this morning, I went and cleaned up a good chunk of my house, and my brain felt a little bit clearer.
Yeah, I think cleaning is so.
It's so therapeutic.
Yeah, it
I had
really
to start. I
is.
was like, I'm not doing any work for 2 hours. I'm going to clean this house because to me, it's been a mess for a bit.
I cleaned my house on Sunday and I thought, do you know what? Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I could be an astronaut.
And then you realise I can't right
No,
now.
I honestly feel full of possibility when my house is clean because I'm like, I did this.
Yeah, that is true.
What else could I do?
Yeah, that is
And
true.
then you start to do something that's slightly fiddly. You're like, oh
God, not this. But it's been a crazy week. But now it's time to move on to the review of the week. This week's review is Survival of the Thickest. It is on Netflix, starring
Michelle Buteau.
and is based on a memoir by her of the same name.
Michelle Buteau is a comedian.
Yeah.
She is of Puerto Rican and a real mix. Puerto Rican, Lebanese, Haitian,
real?
and Haitian and French descent. There we go.
Wow. I mean, the thing is, I would never be able to pinpoint where she's from. I would assume that she's mixed race, but those 4 countries would never have known.
Well, she's technically, apart from the Lebanese and French, Caribbean, because isn't Haiti and the Caribbean
Yeah.
and Puerto Rico?
And in the
as
show,
well? I feel like Puerto Rico and Haiti are close to each other.
Maybe.
Puerto Rico is a what?
I thought it was
what's
like
the special word for it?
Is a
Protectorate.
yeah, with
Of
the US, yeah.
As Haiti is not, but it's a little island close to the US.
It, yeah. I think so.
So, this show
Yeah.
is based on her memoir, which is actually not. It's a book of essays, actually.
Yeah.
Interestingly, she's not a stylist in the book of the essays.
No,
she's
a
herself.
Comedian. Yeah,
Michelle Buteau is a comedian.
Yeah.
She is married to a Dutch man.
Yeah, his name is just something.
His surname is Vandermost, which is nice. They've got twins via surrogate.
Oh.
She's 46 years old. She looks great.
She does look really good.
Absolutely great for a 46-year-old. 38? I believe her. She said she was 33.
Yeah. I mean, in this photo, she could be 33.
I would have believed her. She's got like maybe a very timeless look that it's really hard to age. That
she also has a bit of a baby face.
She does.
As someone who also has a bit more of a
maybe
baby
it's the
face.
freckles.
Yeah, she does.
And the round face.
Yeah, she's got a very round face, big cheeks, freckles. Like she does look very youthful and young.
Hair.
Yeah, amazing butt. That scene where she's like on top and then she's shaking her ass. I'm like,
I didn't see that, but when she said, there was a scene where she's like, "Oh, I've got titties," but in the scene where she said it, I was like, "Not really." And then when she did they did the like lingerie shoot thing, and her thing was like a little bralette, and I was like, "Yeah, no, you do." Let's pack it up.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
I need Michelle Buteau because she was on Nicole Byer, who was a guest on this series podcast. And then
Why Don't You Like Me?
Yeah, and then they were on I think they did something. There was another thing that they were both on together. And so I know her as Nicole's friend, who is also very funny. And I watched a bit of her stand up because I think there was like a Netflix series where they had a bunch of comedians do like one set, essentially. And I was like, I like the tone of her voice. I like that she's got like a really big mix up of ethnicities. It's obviously informed her childhood, and she's from New York, and I know she seems fun.
And also, she's also the host and the voiceover for The Circle.
Which I haven't seen.
So that's the only place I've seen her and know of her. And she's funny, she's funny and she asks the right questions. She's actually a great host.
She's professional comedian.
Yeah,
as we flagged at the end of last episode, and I guess as we're going to talk about, I'm sure here, is like, does being a comedian mean that you're going to be a good comedy show writer? I don't know if she showrun her show. You would imagine she would, though, because most of the episodes say that she wrote them. So I'm assuming if there wasn't a room, she wrote every episode, and if there was, she wrote every episode. So she's the showrunner, but
I think.
Should we just get into
let's just
what the series consists of?
So the series follows Mavis, who is
played by Michelle Buteau.
Yeah, she's 38 years old. She's an up and coming stylist. She had been in a relationship with a man called Jacques, who she'd been with, I think, for like 5 years. She said, and
they thought they would get married.
They thought they would get married, because she's been with him for most of her 30s. And the story kind of really kicks off is that Jacques is a photographer.
Yeah.
They first start doing like shoots together. So he's a photographer, she's styling or supporting the main stylist. And then it kind of smash cuts to when she's going home because she needs to go to the loo or go to the toilet while she's at work.
She's going home to her house. She's going to go home eventually.
Yeah, she's going to go home. And as she's about to go to the loo, she comes out and she sees Jacques having sex with one of the models or a model. Yeah. And she's like, what? She tries to beat up Jacques and the model. She moves out the house. She goes to live with some random. I can't remember who that person is.
Yeah, she's just a
random person. And then it just follows her life after this breakup. Her trying to be a stylist, meeting and starting to build her own roster of like celebrity style clients, including one of the ladies that was in the episodes for the last review.
Yes, Garcelle's getting around.
Yeah, Garcelle Buteau. And then we also introduced to her friends, Marley and Khalil. Marley's played by Tasha Smith, who I've seen her in Why Did I Get Married and Why Did I Get Married Too. And then Khalil, who also looks familiar. He looks so familiar.
He's in a show on Netflix called Drink Masters.
That's not how I recognise him. But I've heard that Drink Masters is really good.
Yeah. His name's like Tony Bell, I think it is.
Yeah. He was in...
Or Tone Bell. Is it Tone or Tony?
Oh, in the show? Oh, Tone.
No, his name.
Yeah, Tone Bell. It's such an interesting name. But he's His real name is Michael Anthony Bell the second.
I thought
He
yeah,
was
so
in
it's Tony.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Isn't it?
Tony.
Tone?
Yeah, but it's spelled like Tone.
Yeah.
He was in Whitney, which I remember. The Whitney Cummings sitcom. And he's also in Drink Masters.
Is great.
Yeah, he was really great.
He's great.
Yeah.
Because I'd seen him in Drink Masters, where it's a reality TV show that he hosts. So I remember it being like, he's a really slick guy on Drink Masters, and then watching him on this, I was like, oh, he's kind of fit. Oh, put me in the bin.
Oh
but
my
he is
God.
kind of fit. Sorry,
He was giving me short vibes.
I'm not fast.
Shorty vibes. And then through the course of the series,
Every hole is a goal, as they say.
Oh my God.
On Drag Race, I never said that.
Oh my gosh. Throughout the course of the series, Mavis starts to get to know herself, her identity. She starts to build up her career. She meets Luca in a comedy club, I think.
No, it's not a comedy club. It's a drag club.
Oh, was it?
It's
Yeah.
a drag bar.
Oh, was it drag? Oh, yeah, because she was, yeah. Luca, who's this Italian
Businessman.
stallion.
Turns out he's actually he works for a non-profit.
Yeah.
He and her hit off. They start dating, but he lives in Italy. She lives in New York. Could this ever be anything? And then towards the end,
Jack comes back.
Yeah, so she gets ill. Jacques comes and is like, I want to marry you. Which honestly, I was like, this is unhinged. Wow. And she goes, oh, and then her mum is like, you need to have a baby. You're old as fuck. So she's like, she goes to see the doctor and they're like, yeah, your ovaries are busted. Your uterus is whack. You need to have a baby today. And so she's like, I'm going to marry Jacques, but then she can't stop thinking about Luca, and her friends are like, do you like Luca? And she's like with Jacques, and she keeps thinking about how he cheated on her, and she eventually decides, this is not going to work for me and Jacques. Yeah. She calls Luca and is like, listen, you're the one I want to be with. I get it if you need some time. But then Luca gets a knock on the door in Italy, and he opens the door, and Mavis is there. Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, this is incredible. Which I would have been like, oh no.
What? Wait, if
I didn't want to speak to you, this would be really bad.
Exactly. I also always think about, if you come to my house unexpected.
And you live in this country, let alone if you didn't live in this country.
100%.
I'd be like, you need to have booked a hotel.
Yeah, where are you staying?
Because you can't stay
yours. No.
not
now.
Yours.
Not now, not ever. Which bedroom? Which room? Which floor?
Well, I was hoping we would just smooch at the door and then you'd let me...
Absolutely, get out of here.
Well, that's what they did in the show.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Knowing what I know about Michelle Buteau's life, I was like, oh, she's going to end up with Luca, because Luca is obviously sort of...
stand-up guy.
He's like a stand-in for her husband in real life, right? If it's based on her book of essays. Yeah. She married a man from Holland, this guy's from Italy, it's supposed to be a sort of parallel. So I was like, she's going to end up with Luca, but I liked the way that the episode ended. Overall, for the series, the first few episodes I was like, not very funny, not very interesting, not saying anything new. But honestly, by episode 5, I was into it.
Really?
I was like, this is kind of, I'm into it. I've got used to the tone and the style of the show. It's not necessarily my kind of comedy, and I think I only laughed maybe 2 times across the series. But I really was genuinely invested by episode 5, and I wonder how this what is going to happen to Mavis, but more so what's going to happen to Marley, what's going to happen to Khalil. I like these 2 characters, and Marley's story ends up being a one of queer awakening, which is quite nice, and Khalil's is about learning to not be a fuckboy, and Mavis is about putting herself first, and that means, following love and not following, the safe choice. I really, really liked the episode where they were talking about where Khalil, so it's episode 5, Khalil is supposed to be painting a mural on the side of a coffee shop, and this white woman comes up and is like, I want to see your permit. And they go back to his flat, and it's obviously they've smoked some weed, and everyone starts talking about their sort of experiences with race, and Mavis tells that really sad story about how she was playing kickball and someone called her a dumb nigger or something, and she went home and told her parents, and they were just like, anyway.
Oh my God.
I was like, this stuff is it feels like not something I've seen before.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why the show started to win me
Exactly,
over, because
yeah.
it's like if you start to present me with what your show does that no other show does, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I think to me the problem with a lot of shows, and we were talking earlier about everything now, which we'll talk about on a later podcast, is that like if you come out the gate being like, I'm like something else, I don't feel inclined to watch a show that's like something else. Like Gossip Girl is one of my favourite YA shows. Like I don't want to watch Gossip. I didn't want to watch the reboot.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that's...
I don't want to watch the same show twice. I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I felt with Survivor of the Thickest that the humour is very much crude humour. Like it's even like flagged in like the ratings. It's a very much crude humour type of show. It's quite in your face, quite cheap laughs, quite slapstick, and I think there's only been a few occasions where it felt funny, and it kind of worked. I remember like the opening of, I think it would be episode 5, I don't know if episode 4, where they're having Khalil and Marley are having sex with their individual partners.
Yeah, but it felt like...
Yeah, I was like... this is together. I was like, oh, maybe this is a story. I was actually rooting for them.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, another show would put these two people together.
Yeah, this is what, for me, that really should happen, but then it will cause like friction with Mavis, and anyway.
And I liked who they ended up with separately anyway, but like, I was also like, well, that's a big turning point, isn't it?
This could be it. But then them smash cut, so while Marley and Khalil are having sex with maybe it's kind of looking like she's about to have sex, or she's looking like she's in the throes of passion, but actually she's just cleaning the toilet. Yeah. And that was like, oh, haha, that's kind of funny. But that was the only like time where I was like, huh.
Yeah, I think
the show in terms of comedy, maybe because maybe the crude aspect is just a bit too much, and it's very American. Like it feels like a very much like American style type of comedy. I just was not really there for it as much, but I did start to find Mavis's character a bit more endearing towards the end. Yeah. I actually really liked Marley's character, and I liked Kelly's character pretty much from the jump. I didn't feel like they were trying to be over exaggerating. I felt that they were quite like, they were the right set of friends to kind of surround Mavis, because Mavis is so extroverted. She takes up a lot of energy in the room. Even like the funeral of the Garcelle's character, or Garcelle's character's ex-husband, like all of a sudden Mavis jumps up and starts talking. I'm like, why are you in this scene? Like, it was so exaggerated, but it just felt like, and something we talked about with the main character, is like there is always going to be a main character syndrome. Like the whole world will revolve around the main character regardless of what the storyline is, and if it doesn't, the story will find its way for the main character to become and still remain the main character. So that's why at times she was a bit annoying as a character, and sometimes it was kind of endearing because this is just the way she is, and it was kind of fun and sweet to see how she softened with Luca, even though I didn't really buy the depth of their relationship, for her to break up the whole engagement and run up to Italy. To me, it was like a lot.
I didn't buy the engagement. That's why I felt like her breaking it off to be with Luca made sense, because it's like she's not really in this engagement, is she? Like, you guys were split up. You guys aren't even together. Yeah. So to go from not being together to you're proposing to me, like, me personally, I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. And I would have said, if I really wanted this to work, I'd be like, perhaps we should get back together for a period before you propose to me, just because I feel like to go from nothing to proposal is a bit weird, especially when he knocks on the door when he proposes to her and opens with "Who's Luca?" They glossed over that really, really quickly, and I was like, well, if he, like, the fact that he even asked that question, it's like, it's none of your business who I've been with since we weren't dating, because you've been with people, I'm sure, as well.
I mean, you cheated, so...
And if you're coming in with that energy, we should not get together, because how dare you make me feel like, oh, how dare I get with someone like it's lame. But interesting, think about the pilot now that I've seen the whole series. And thinking about pilots, because I'm working on a series at the moment, and I was just thinking about how actually that pilot, the problem with that pilot and those first 3 episodes, I felt, was that they weren't as confident as the later episodes felt like they were. And maybe you need those episodes to get to those later episodes, but I wondered if that, like, it would have been more explosive to open the show with the cheating, Like, why did we have to sit through an entire episode of her styling someone and then I didn't care about any of that stuff, if I'm being honest. And it honestly was not funny either. But maybe what would have been funnier is seeing her get cheated on. Not the cheating part, not the funny bit, but like, you end a relationship, you move out, and now you're 38 and you need to figure out what it means to live by yourself again. Yeah. So maybe we see her going to all these different apartment viewings and meeting all these other dodgy people before she settles on the person that she decides to live with, who has a cat, by the way, called Cocaine. You know, like, that's not your first choice, surely. And so that might have been a better episode 1.
Because that's, even the moving into that with that
roommate,
I have no idea who that person was, and I didn't really care, I'll be honest.
It might have been, it might have been an better episode 1 to see this person cycling through, like, potential landlords. I also feel like her being 38 felt like a thing maybe at the beginning and at the end, but in the middle wasn't anything.
No.
And I don't know if that was deliberate or if it was like, they didn't know what the USP of the show was. Yeah. And I think a lot of people have that problem. It's not just this show, but like, your USP, like, fucking lean into it. There are not a lot of TV shows out there about a woman who is 38 years old trying to figure out who she is after being in a relationship for 5 years and thinking that was going to be her whole person. That was her whole personality and that was her whole thing. Like, a lot of people probably could relate to that. And I felt like with this, like, it didn't really lean into being 38. The stylist thing was so light touch and so easy that, like, it wasn't even giving us a proper glimpse into what it meant to be a stylist. Michelle Buteau herself is not a stylist.
No, her outfits weren't.
I like her outfits.
Did you? No, because I sometimes think as a stylist, like, your style should be impeccable. The same way, like, when you go to a hairdresser and they do your hair, I always look at the hairdresser's hair, because I'm like, if you're doing my hair, you are your biggest advertisement. I want to see your hair being laid all the time. It's not always going to be the case. So I expect her style to be, like, impeccable, and it wasn't. I don't think it was, like, most of the time. I think she
what does impeccable even mean?
I mean, all right then. After I asked what the meaning of conjure was,
no, I'm asking you. What does that mean?
I think it needs to be, like, pristine and perfect, and.
But don't you think that's hard to define?
I think it needs to represent her identity very clearly, but also be. I felt like it needed to mesh well, and sometimes it felt like she was just throwing on different things, which is counterintuitive as a stylist, where you should look a bit more put together, and at times her outfits weren't. Stuff like I would wear.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the problem with style, isn't it? Yeah. Like,
it's so subjective.
It's so subjective, and like, there are lots of things I see where I think are really thrown together, where other people would be like, "This is so chic," and I'm like, well, "You're just wearing 8 skirts. I don't get how this is the thing." But I actually found myself liking a lot of the stuff that she wore, and I think it's because where my style and her style crossed over is that she liked a lot of patterns, and I like a lot of patterns. And there was like, I think it's in episode 5 when they're smoking weed, she's wearing this like sort of cardigan and like joggers thing that's like both are patterned, and I thought that's really fun. Yeah, that's actually a really fun look. And also, I think the other thing is, like, neither one of us are big girls, so we don't know what this is like. But dressing when you're a big girl is very different to dressing when you're not. Yeah. And so maybe even the way that she's dressed in the show is quite radical. But for us, it's not that radical, because we're like, well, yeah, you can buy those pieces at any Primark. But for her, it's like, no, because the stuff that they make for big girls is like plain. Yeah. She actually makes a speech So one thing I would say about the show that didn't quite work for me.
Go on.
Were the guest stars.
Agree.
So Peppermint is the like owner of the bar. Okay. Peppermint is a drag queen she's a drag queen, she's like quite a well-known drag queen in New York, but also she's on series 10 of Drag Race. At the end of the series, she came out as trans, and so she's been living, well, she was trans the whole time, but she only came out as trans at the end of the series, and so she's a trans woman. Yeah. And I was quite surprised to see Peppermint, but I was like, oh, this is fun. And then Michelle Visage, who is a guest on Drag Race, is also a guest star on this. And I was like, there's a lot of Drag Race people on this show. And I'm curious now as to whether, like, RuPaul sponsored this or funded. Like, what's the deal? Like, it's very weird. And the fact that this isn't real. Yeah. So this isn't based on real life. I was like, clearly a thought has just, they've decided to be like, oh, and what if Michelle's character is a stylist, but she styles in a drag bar, and we can fill it with drag queens. I know she quite likes drag queens. And so it's probably like, oh, I get to marry Maggie things, but I felt like Michelle Visage is like her cameo is this like this like rich woman whose dog is marrying Garcelle's dog.
Yeah.
Was like, this person, I know she's capable of so much more than this. Yeah. Like, she wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Nicole Byer, who was also a comedian, she weirdly played herself.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird because Michelle Visage doesn't play herself.
Yeah.
Garcelle doesn't play herself. For some reason, Nicole's the only person who plays herself. So this is a universe where Garcelle doesn't exist, Michelle doesn't exist.
But Nicole does.
But Nicole does.
Yeah.
And Michelle Buteau doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But Nicole does. And Nicole and Michelle are good friends. So, but in this version, Nicole Byer is just a famous person who is designing a... I don't know. I felt the guest... I was excited to see her because I was like... It did have me thinking about like... It's weird when your friend, if you're both...
friends in the industry.
Actors gets a show and then they don't make a role for you. That would be really
that is
fucking
awkward.
weird.
I think it's awkward. Because what if you're not the right person for the role?
Bitch, you're making a show based on your life.
Okay,
so there's a character who's actually me in the show, but
you're
saying
how do you know?
I wasn't cast to play.
How do you
I've read your book of essays, and one of them is about me.
How do you know you're in the story?
So that character you've got, who's called Nicole Byer, is who?
My other friend.
Oh, grow up.
It's also called Nicole B, but Nicole B.
Like you know, if I for some reason was making a memoir, a biopic of myself, you'd want to know who was playing you.
Yeah, I like it to be me, but
it's not going to be. You're not an actress. Who
would you cast to play me?
Oh, Vivian Opara.
Who's that?
You know the girl from Rye Lane. You're both Nigerian.
No, because I was thinking more Kerry Washington.
Bro, grow up. First of all, she's 20 years older than you, so why would you want Kerry Washington to play you? Second of all, bitch don't even look like
Sorry,
you.
I was going to say Gabrielle Union.
Again, woman is 20 years older than you.
Gabrielle Union's looking good for 20 years older than me.
She's 20 years older than you.
Yeah,
she does look like you.
She does.
She doesn't look like you.
Let me just get a picture of her.
She's about to put her face next to Gabrielle Union's face. She's too old.
Wait, okay, she's a bit too old, but like, oh my gosh, look. In my head.
This is what I look like.
Look at the cheeks, fam. Look at the cheeks.
You and that woman are not the same colour.
Wait, no.
You and that woman are not the same colour.
Okay, maybe not that, but the cheeks.
You and that woman are not the same colour.
Okay,
and also,
she
doesn't have as much of a baby face as you do. Sorry.
No, that's the wrong picture.
You keep looking. Let me know.
Alright.
I'm about to get Whoopi Goldberg to pay you if you don't stop.
What's wrong with Whoopi?
Nothing.
Whoopi could pay me.
You look more like Whoopi than you look like Gabrielle Union. She's so much lighter than you are.
It's not about the complexion, it's about the face.
No, because you know what will be the problem? When someone watched my biopic and said, why have you cast all the dark-skinned girls and they're all light-skinned? Why are all the dark-skinned girls in this film light-skinned? I've seen the real pictures of them and they are dark-skinned girls. You cast them all, they're mixed race. This doesn't make sense.
Okay, you're right, you're right. Maybe then that girl does not look like me.
She doesn't look like you, but she's essence. So I feel like she could play you.
She was very annoying in that film.
Yeah.
And she acts with her lips. I don't do that with mine.
No, you don't.
So why am I going to get a girl with bigger lips?
Director,
with her pale back on the lips.
More cheeks
and less lips.
I don't know how you can move your cheeks.
Move your cheeks a bit more.
But like do less of your lips.
Because the lips don't have to always be in frame.
And if you could just like carry yourself like a God-fearing woman a bit more, that would be very helpful for us. That would be very helpful for us.
Oh my gosh.
And not like a slut harlot.
How dare you?
I'm just saying don't do that.
Okay,
I'm not saying she
you're
does
right.
that. I'm saying
I don't do that. I'm demure and lovely. I'm black. In that order.
Why are you supposed to that? I mean, do you keep talking about this? Like, I'm starting to feel like you're actually a white person who's pretending to be black.
Who's my Fitz?
Who's your Fitz?
In the story.
There's no Fitz in the story because in real life, who's your Fitz? Exactly.
I'm trying to fill out that
dial
position.
tone. That's what you're hearing. Nothing else.
I'm trying to cast that role in my own personal life, so I will let you know.
Yeah, you let me know when you cast your Fitz, and I'll tell you who's going to play your Fitz. There's no Fitz in this. This is in like the biopic of my life. It's specifically a period of my life which is like year 8.
Okay.
to year 12.
That's a very small period. This is a biopic. Like, there's not a lot of life that happens. I mean, there's a lot of life, but is that a lot? Not is that enough life for an hour 45 minutes film?
Yeah. Because it starts at my mum's funeral.
Okay.
And it ends at the point where I go to university.
But you have so much life after
No, I
as
haven't.
well.
Nothing has ever happened to me since then.
I mean, it's gonna be it's big story.
This is a film about formative years.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see me in an office. That's boring as hell. That's boring. You don't want to. I trust me. You don't want to see it. In fact, Vivian Oprah is gonna be too old by the time this show.
Yeah, she probably.
We need somebody. Whoever's gonna play us doesn't exist
actually,
yet.
I don't mind. I mean, in my head, Zendaya. I'm joking. For the girlies, I do not look like
play
Zendaya.
you?
Yeah. Who paying?
To play you?
Who's paying you?
She doesn't exist. She's gonna be an unknown.
Yeah, but that's so
Playing
easy.
me is gonna make her a star.
I'm finished.
Yeah.
I'm actually finished. Who will pay out other girlies?
The quotes, the critics will be like,
And introduce
blah blah
him.
blah. Yeah, exactly. Blah blah's performance as Marnie is groundbreaking. Somehow she manages to stride the line of ambitious but humble, kind but selfish, powerful but so introverted.
I'm so finished.
It's a delicate line.
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
Right now, if I had to pick someone, the girlie from Everything Now could play me.
Which girlie? Oh, the other girl.
No, the main one.
The main girl. You're talking about complexion.
No,
that girl is mixed race for real.
Actually, I was about to say, obviously the girl don't look like me.
So yeah.
But I'm saying who could possess the essence.
So you're gonna get her to darken her skin?
I
For real.
I never said that. I said who now. Obviously, I'm not making the biopic now.
So when I said Gabrielle Union,
yes, I said this girl. So how are these two people friends?
Wait.
Use your brain.
Alright, I'm saying.
Both of them are saying they're year 8.
Okay. Alright, you're saying
Grow
year 8.
up.
You're saying year 8. I want then the girl who was the friend in Everything Now. That should be me then. Because I'm big
she's not
face.
you.
No,
she's not any of us. Sorry, that girl's not in the crew. That girl's not in the crew.
What's wrong with the girl?
She doesn't look like any of us. And she doesn't carry herself like any of us.
I think but me.
Okay, then she's you.
I may not make it past that biopic.
The Michelle of the group. And never the Kelly or the Beyonce.
Jesus, Lord have mercy.
That girl is a Michelle, and you know it. She's not the Beyonce, and
she was Kelly. She was the Kelly.
She wasn't Kelly.
She was Kelly.
She wasn't Kelly. The gay guy was Kelly.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Sorry.
Wishing you the best. Praying you are blessed.
I'm better than that. I'm not gonna call you on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm better than that. I don't know what the lyrics are about.
Yeah, neither do I.
But my mama taught me better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
What was I saying? Yeah, I don't think the guest stars work.
Gerald as well, yeah.
I love Nicole. I think she's so funny. I don't think she was fully utilised. I felt everyone was quite restrained. Do you know what it reminded me of? Loot.
Yes.
There's something
it's the
about
American
getting these people who are
sitcoms.
actually so funny in their own right, and then putting them in the show as something they're so restrained. I don't know if it's because it's miscast, potentially. Like, you should be casting a comedian to basically play themselves.
Yeah.
Not a real version of themselves, themselves.
Yeah.
So, the thing about Nicole Byer in this is that she's Nicole Byer, but a muted version of her, and somehow more polished as well. Like, I'm doing a swimsuit line. It's like, this feels like Lizzo and Nicole Byer smashed together.
Yeah.
And not as fun.
No, it wasn't.
Even Michelle, to me, is a lot... She's smarter than she is in the show.
I agree. She came across quite dumb, and at times it became a bit irritating. That's why the crude humour sometimes can be interpreted as quite silly, stupid humour. Yeah, humour. And I was like, do we need that? Like, is it necessary? Because actually, you know, if it's written really smartly, I don't think you need to have all that crude humour. You can have those moments, which it could be like your extra laugh out loud moments, but having a really smart, witty banter between the cast and the situation and how she like curses out Jacques, like that's the funny things that you want. But I don't know, I didn't enjoy this series as much, and I love sitcoms, but maybe I'm getting to a point where this, similar to Loot, this feels a little dated. Probably not as dated as Loot, because Luke
It
felt
just doesn't
really
move the
dated.
dial.
No, it doesn't. Like I honestly, the way that this show was shot, you could have had a laughing track. Like this could have been in the 2000s with the laughing track, but
It was giving Mindy Project.
Yes,
It
that
was
was
giving
Mindy Project with a bit of Ugly Betty.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed Mindy Project when it came out.
I know,
But
because it's of its time.
But it's a hard watch now. Like it's
It's
also,
of its time.
You also watch it and you're like, who's that?
Here comes Shoshana reading people for filth.
I'm sorry. Mindy who? Mindy before and after. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, like, and also, I actually do appreciate, and maybe this was done intentionally, that you read the title "Survival of the Thickest," and then you expect it to be non-stop, like, I'd hate to say it, thick fat jokes, and it absolutely wasn't. It was a celebration of being bigger, looking great, doing you, being sexy. Like, I appreciate that it wasn't like overkill, because that could have been where it went, where it was like, I'm big, I'm fabulous, I'm beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Can I tell you a joke that I liked from the show?
Go on.
It was when she comes out of the hospital and the roommate's like, well, your mum's here. And her mum's like, oh, you need to see this, you need to see that. She's like, why can't you just love me? And her mum's like, I do love you. That's why I brought you curry goat. That was very funny to me. Because that is exactly how parents show you that they care about you.
Food.
How can you tell me I don't love you? I actually went to the shop and I ordered curry goat to bring for you. Disrespectful. I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed when that friend came with her to her appointment. And then she was like, you didn't tell me that Dr. Robinson was going to be working. And it's like, yeah, I can't believe I didn't tell you Dr. Robinson. Yes, because I didn't know, and it would have like a really long time. Yeah. I enjoyed that. That part, I feel like the latter half of the season, when it found its stride, I was like, oh, but you're right. I think the problem is, it feels dated, it feels like something you've seen before. And so I wouldn't have kept watching if not for the podcast.
I agree.
But
because I had to rewatch it because of the podcast. Because I only got to episode 3 or 4 outside of the pod when it first came out.
Yeah, but I feel like in the second half, I was like, I enjoyed this. So I'm my thinking as a script person, putting my script hat on, is I wonder if it is that, like, I've been feeling recently like if your show is not changing the way we think about what that kind of show can be, it's kind of not really doing anything.
Yeah.
And in the second half, it also still wasn't changing what we think that show can be, but it was really confidently what that show is.
Yeah.
This is a show about a woman figuring out who she is.
Yeah.
And a very specific woman in that, you know, she's a black woman, she's got 2 black friends. There's no white people in this show.
No, actually there isn't.
There's none. And I was like, you know, I didn't even find myself being like, where are the white people in this show? Because even her Italian partner is
not white.
Is a man of colour.
Yeah.
Not, and I don't mean colour as in he's tan. I mean like he's not white.
He's not white. Yeah.
So it's and it's not a show that like is waving a flag like look at us, we're doing something. It's not. It doesn't even draw attention to that. It has like 2 or 3 trans people in it. Again, not drawing attention to that. It's just is what the show is, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the show. And I wonder, like, how do you get more eyes on a thing like this if they're not people who are fans of Michelle Buteau or people who've read her memoir? How would you get eyes on this? Because if I'm being honest, if I don't know who she was and I hadn't read the memoir, I'm not clicking on this.
No.
I'm not clicking
I think
on it.
I would only click on it from the sake of the title, because I thought it was quite a funny title in a sense, like Survival of the Fittest, Survival of the Thickest. So that would be the only thing, but I don't know. My big question is, if there was a season 2, would you watch?
Maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but
maybe. I want to know if she's gonna, you know, where I want to know how much of her real life she'll put into the show.
If she met her Dutch husband, or maybe I'll give it a watch. I feel like you want to say something, so just say it. Because I don't buy the relationship with her and Luca. I just don't buy it. Why are you laughing? I don't buy the relationship.
I don't know what you want me to say. Go
Look,
off.
I'm
sis.
done.
Go
No, I
off.
just don't think I would be a series 2 watcher, but you continue.
I liked Lika a lot. I liked I liked the cast towards the end. It won me over.
Yeah.
I hope they would figure out the guest stars in season 2. Again, it's the same with it'd be interesting to see what Loot does with season 2 because I want to know. I'm now really curious, given that this has had a very similar result as Loot. What the issue is? Is it that it's these comedians, but then filtered through TV producers who are stifling them, or is it the writers that are stifling them, or what? I'm really curious because in here, when we're developing a show, if we attach a comedian to it,
it's expected to be.
It grows exponentially. You know, like all of the good comedies that we have in this country are written by or are starring comedians, right? It's not something that's detrimental to the show, but now I'm trying to imagine a universe where apparently getting actual comedians who write comedy day in, day out would make your show shit. Yeah. Or not even shit, not funny.
And that's the big issue. And I actually have a question before we start to wrap up. What was her stand-up like? Michelle Buteau's stand-up?
It's kind of like Nicole's in that but again, smart, but a little bit racy, a little bit saucy, and then she spoke about her meeting her husband in Holland, about bringing him back to New York, about the two of them. They've got twins, but they had them via a surrogate. That whole it's very. But then all of that through the lens of being Dominican.
Okay.
So it's honestly smart, and then also she's like, I'm a girlie who likes to smoke weed, and I used to be a lot wilder when I was younger, but I'm not. I'm 46 years old. You're not expecting anal and threesomes from a 46-year-old.
Yeah.
You're expecting changing nappies and trying to manage who you were before you were a mother with who you are now, and I enjoyed it. It's hard though. I don't know who I would say my favourite comedian is. I actually think my favourite comedian is not a comedian. I think my favourite comedy thing is I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. And that is a sketch show.
I don't think I've even watched
by
that.
Tim Robinson, who wrote for SNL briefly. And it's just so, very briefly, a funny thing happened to me. A thing happened to me. My sister sent me a clip from the show, and she was like, I feel like you'd like this show. And I was like, I've watched this show
I love that.
over and over, because there's only 6 episodes and they're 15 to 20 minutes long.
I need to watch it
so many times, and it's honestly the humor of a dumb kid, but it's just so funny to. It's so funny, and there's great guest stars like Stephen Yeun, isn't it? From Beef, he's in the first episode of the first season. So it's just, I don't know, it's such a great show, and I think the reason why it's great is because it's so specific to the comedian's humour, and his producers and Netflix have just let him be make the show that you think is funny, and so it is. And I think I don't know. I wonder if the problem is being a comedian trying to make a sitcom as opposed to being a comedian making a show that's funny, because it might not be your traditional sitcom. So many great sitcoms that I like are not traditional sitcoms. They have music in them. They have songs like the Mighty Boosh and like Concords. Those are not your traditional. It's not Friends. You know,
which is one of my favorite shows.
You've got to make the show that's your specific brand of comedy. You can't ask Noel Fielding to make Friends. It would be weird.
And that's why I wanted to know about her stand-up, because I was like, is the crude humour that part of her identity? And it sounds like it's not.
I'm sure she has some moments about sex. 100%. But she's not have you seen London Hughes' stand-up?
No, I haven't.
And I went to watch it, and I'm not gonna in the first 5 minutes she was like, I love sucking dick, and I was like, not today. There's something about it. And I was like, after the day I've had, I just can't. I just can't be where you're at right now.
Oh my gosh.
It's 7 p.m. eating my dinner.
She's given the best comedy of her life, and you're there going, nah, it's not for me.
I don't want to say anything really about London Hughes, but I honestly just think her humour is just straight sex jokes. I just think it's very pedestrian. It is. Making jokes about sex is super easy. It's gross.
So, if you were going to rate it, What would you give Survival of the Thickest?
3.
Okay. I would give it a 2 because I don't...
Like?
Because I feel like Lou is in a very similar vein, and I think I gave Lou about the same score. But also, I just didn't find it incredibly funny.
No, and I think that's absolutely fair.
So, but it was cute. But there's just so many other.
What is the funniest thing you've watched recently?
I don't think I have watched something like incredibly funny in
The
a
Bear.
long time. Sorry, yeah, The Bear, but that's felt like ages ago.
And also, The Bear isn't funny like
it's
that.
not funny. No, it's not. I mean, it had some funny moments, but it's not.
No, but I think that's saying a lot about where we're at.
True.
I don't think there's a lot of shows I genuinely like.
No. I'm sure there is, like, perfectly honest, most of my time is like, yeah, I get most of my jokes off TikTok or
TikTok is the funniest thing on TV.
Yeah,
right
or
now.
reality TV. Like the funny moments in reality TV make me laugh. I've not enjoyed a sitcom. The Bear, I call it it's a comedy drama, but I haven't enjoyed like a traditional sitcom in a very long time in the way that I used to, and I wonder, why? Because I used to love Friends, and I still love Friends now.
I don't think there are any sitcoms on.
No,
Like proper sitcoms.
No.
And the last sitcom I watched that I enjoyed was Schitt's Creek.
I tried to start watching it again. I still didn't find it funny.
It was Schitt's Creek, and that was in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you a sitcom
that you used to watch. Yeah.
I just rewatch the ones that I like.
Yeah. I mean, I remember binge watching Always Funny and Philadelphia and Arrested Development and like some of the new ones.
Is not funny.
I found Arrested Development really funny, especially the early ones. Towards the end, not so much, but
I can get it.
I thought it was quite funny.
I'm sure. Literally, loads of people think it's funny, so it must be.
I feel like I'm missing something.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched How I Met Your Father, that was not funny, but it was like cute. That's one thing that I was thinking about with the idea you gave about this show, Survival of the Thickest, starting with the cheating versus anything else. I kept thinking about Uncoupled, which is one of the worst things I watched last year.
That was awful.
And the thing with Uncoupled is that it just kept hammering home the same narrative, like he's divorced, and they just continued on. And I do agree that it would have been good if you got to the action of the cheating a lot quicker, because that would give you like this grounding of like this woman trying to start her life again. But I would have hated it if it just kept on going back to Jack cheated on me, and I don't think that was a good thing that he didn't really do that in the series.
I think the difference obviously with Uncoupled and this is that this is a relationship, not a marriage, and getting divorced is actually quite a big thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's like once you've moved out of old dude's house and you've quit your job, what reason do I need to still be talking about this thing? Yeah. And I feel like, what is it, episode 2? Or is it episode 1 where she like hooks up with that guy who she doesn't think is hot?
Oh yeah, that was episode 1.
Yeah, like she's she's tired before the end of that episode, she's off doing whatever. Yeah. So I feel like they must probably get to the cheat quite quickly then if she's got time to do that. But I feel like I like something that announces itself up top in as interesting a way as possible. And I feel like that episode 1 for me lagged. Yeah. And that's why I wouldn't have, if we weren't watching it for the podcast, I wouldn't have watched episode 2. Yeah. Because the lagging was like, okay, you don't have anything else to say, is what I assume from that.
But yeah, I think it was an interesting show. I'm always glad to kind of see, diverse black shows on TV, sitcoms, comedies. We'll see if it gets series 2. I probably won't watch it, but we'll see. But I think it's probably worth us just talking about what's happening next week. What we do next week?
Yeah, what are we doing next week?
Married at First Sight. We talked a bit about it. We gave you a bit of a tease of where our heads are at with the couples. But this is Married at First Sight UK, the most recent season.
Oh, I know what you're thinking. How is it supporting Black community?
In Black History Month.
And the answer is, as long as there are Black people on a show, that is Black culture, and we must support them and we must protect them, even if they are dumb. Even if they are embarrassing us, we have to protect them. And right now, no one's protecting Portia. Terrence, he's just there for bounce.
I know, but we need to.
Terrence is a big blob of a man. Ugh.
Yeah, we need to.
And I don't mean that in how he looks. I mean like his personality is giving nothing.
Yeah, but yeah, we're going to talk about all the couples including Portia, including Terrence,
and Nathaniel,
and
as
Nathaniel,
well.
and Nathaniel as well, repping. We're gonna bring this.
Oh, and the other girlie.
Oh yeah, the other girl.
And the other guy, Paul and...
Oh yeah, Paul and thing. The other girl, yeah. Actually, there's a lot of bad people. Yeah, we're gonna represent the community and also represent Married at First Sight next week.
Can I say something controversial?
Go on then.
I don't get why black people go on white shows.
And we're gonna talk about that next week.
Like, the majority of the class is white. You're gonna get dragged on this show. Just might as well just sit at home.
But perfectly honest, what black Married at First Sight show do we have?
If they really cared about the culture, what we have is blue therapy. Oh my god, there's no answer. There's no answer. There's no solution
yeah, I don't know. But we'll talk about this more in next week's episode. So, thank you for listening. This has been Scripts and Giggles with Shoshana.
And Michelle Buteau. That's right. I was here the whole time. And you have insulted me and my production company.
I'm very happy for your work. Like, I feel like you did an amazing job.
I don't see you saying that.
I gave you a rating. 2 out of 5 is thinking.
You're going to be in my new stand-up. Bitches in the UK, stay being bitches.
We're bitches in... Oh, sorry. We're bitches in Paris.
Bitches in Paris.
Dun, 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 dun.
Before we get copyright.
Yeah.
By Tidal.
Yes.
Can you believe Tidal still exists?
No.
It does.
But even Vivo still exists. I know.
What a time to be alive.
I know.
This has been Scripts and Giggles with Shoshana and Money.
What? How dare you?
You already did yours.
I said Shoshana. Oh,
and
you
I said Michelle Buteau.
All right, then. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
We're surviving and we're thick.
One time for the big... Oh, can't sing those songs no more.
All right, then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.